So I'm here today to talk to you about communication. It's something that we learned in class. It's something that we talked about all year, and we did a lot of it as we were in debates within our classroom. There's a individual by the name of Tony Robbins. He's a life coach. He's a businessman. He also does different development speeches. He kind of helps people to get back on track with their lives. And he had a quote that pretty much stated that to effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way that we perceive the world. Oh yeah, sorry, I got my 8x10 cards here. So, and use understanding as a guide to our communication with others. We have to be diligent in how we communicate and how we speak to others. So there are three rules of communications I want to go over with you. The first one is communication rules. It's a shared understanding among people of a particular culture or social group about what communication means and what behaviors are appropriate in different situations. Very important as we speak to others, because someone being from a different country may take what you say literally incorrect. The way you say it, how you say it, becomes frustrating for them. The other one I want to come over is regulative rules. It's when, how, where, and whom to communicate with. Very important. We have to understand that we communicate with the right people, depending if we're in a meeting or if we're visiting work and we need to talk to someone important. The other one is constitutive rules. Now this one's kind of interesting. It lays out some of the rules when it comes to communication. The first one is showing respect. Showing respect is very important. That's when you decide that you need to listen attentively and not correct what the person's saying. You really need to listen. The other one is rudeness. This one is talking over others. There has to be a point in your life when you realize that talking over someone becomes very frustrating for the other person. I've been married 20 years, a little bit over 20 years, but the thing is that I got married before I went in the military, and I had served in the military for 20 years. And the biggest thing was you had to learn to communicate. And one of the communication lessons that I learned a while back when it came to communicating with your spouse was listening. You have to be attentive to their needs and respect their needs, because a lot of times all they want you to do is listen. The other one is friendship, and that's when you share your confidence in defending defending when criticized. So in other words, you're in a situation and your friend is being, I guess, brutally humiliated or whatever you want to call it, but you speak up and you defend their honor. The other one is professionalism, and that's making good contributions in a work group or even in a meeting. And that takes me back to the military. I can't say it was all, roses out there, but I will say that, in order to get something done, when it came to work ethics, you had to communicate with each other. There was no way around it. If you didn't communicate, you didn't lay out exactly what you were doing for that day, set up the daily task, then you were not going to get it done. It becomes dragging, and it doesn't give you the proper experience you need. The last one I want to talk about is intimacy, offering support and expressing your affection. That is, well, I guess that would, well, to be honest, I would think that deals more with your relationship with maybe your spouse, your girlfriend, or anything like that. If you're doing intimacy in your workspace, there's something wrong. But that's when you have to rely on your professionalism. And one of the other things that I wanted to read, because this is something that I kind of came up on my own because I felt like it was important, and that was, how we speak. Like I said, I've been to a lot of marriage retreats and stuff like that, and you learn that when you speak, you listen. No, I'm sorry. We speak, you listen. We listen, you speak. And sometimes communication is just listening. Sometimes your spouse doesn't want you to talk at all. They just want you to listen. Don't even say a word to them. They get you. They understand you. Formal and informal settings is where a lot of the communication skills come in. That's when you know when to listen. Like your formal setting, you're going to listen to someone. With your informal settings, you have the opportunity to speak out and interrupt someone, and a lot of times that becomes frustrating, but it's also the area where you want to do that is in an informal setting. And this is all based on the setting you're in. So communication is important. We have to live it. It's the best thing that you can do in your life, and learn it. And I hope that you guys understand a little bit more about communication. See you later.